What is poppin', fam? Spanik here, coach of your Alabama Crimson Surf, and this is my Week 6 CBA game against the Honolulu Huntails, who are currently winless. So let's see what he could possibly bring. His full team is Latios, Magirna, Diggersby, Darmanitan, Donphan, Heliolisk, Mandibuzz, Jellicent, Lipard, Barbancle, and Megavenusaur. So immediately I see that his Victini switch-in is the X button. And that's exactly why I brought Choice Banded Victini here with V-Create. Especially the Choice Victini set I've been bringing for the past 5 weeks. Choice Band with V-Create, Bolt Strike, U-Turn, and Trick. It just does damage to so many different things. Not a lot of teams can be prepped for Choice Banded Victini because V-Create just does a ton. I believe it 2 KOs Max Defense Mega Venusaur as well. It can actually, and it even has, and with base 100 stats all around, it even has the bulk to take a Shadow Ball from Magirna. I'm not even sure if Magirna gets Shadow Ball, but I ran the calcs anyway. And yes, indeed, Victini takes, I think it's 66 max. So at full, I can take Magirna Shadow Balls for days. Now, the other mons I've brought, we have here Weavile making its debut on the Crimson Surf. It made this thing a Pursuit Trapper set for Latios. I ran Jolly Nature with enough speed for Latios because Latios is the fastest thing on his team outside of a potential Scarfer. He actually does bring Scarf Diggersby this game, so that is something worth mentioning. I have Icicle Crash, Pursuit, Ice Shard, and Knockoff. Pursuit, I wanted to be able to Pursuit Trap the Latios, but he didn't bring the Latios because he knew Weavile probably was coming for that. So I guess Pursuit could even work for like maybe even Pursuit trapping Jellicent. But Jellicent doesn't want to take a knockoff, and I do have some SPDF investment in this Weavile, but it was made to take potential Draco from Latios. So I got like 120. I have max attack, some speed, enough speed for Latios, Jolly Nature. I have to run Jolly Nature to be able to beat Latios, and I believe I just dumped the rest in SPDF. Here we have Fizdef Rotom Wash, a nice pivot to get into either Weavile or Victini. Those are kind of my two main offensive threats. It's nice Fizdef pivot, can handle Diggersby well. Like I have a Diggersby, even Darmanitan well, even the if he brings Grass Knot Bloom Doom with Darmanitan, it probably wasn't doing that much anyway. Because it's a Darmanitan and its special attack is not the greatest stat. We went over the Victini set already. We have Mega Scizor here, Spadef Mega Scizor. Max Spadef, max HP. This is the Magirna counter. So the Magirna switch-in, even though the HP fire, he probably has the HP fire on that because my Magirna switch-in is the X button. And I have Bullet Punch. I think I have Bullet Punch, Brutal Swing, Roost, and SD. I should have put maybe U-turn instead of SD because this is always meant to be bulky. But I wanted another offensive threat. I wanted another offensive mon just to kind of balance it out with bulk and offense, because then again, my last two mons are DNC and Chestnut. So I kind of wanted to balance it out with bulk and offense, so I put SD on it as a potential threat. Next mon we have here is DNC, and this thing, it's a gimmick set. I have Z Earth Power. I have Z Earth Power, also it's Psychic, Rocks, and Moonblast. With enough speed to speed creep Magirna, I brought this set to potentially catch Magirna on a potential switch in, and then just click Tectonic Rage, because Tectonic Rage plus Earth Power would kill a max HP, max special attack DNC. No, max HP, max special attack Magirna. It would kill. That was my big problem in prep with DNC. I didn't know whether to put Shattered Psyche for the Venusaur or whether to put Tectonic Rage for the Magirna. I figured Magirna to be the bigger threat because Victini could 1v1 the Venusaur. So I figured Magirna to be the bigger threat. That's why I put Tectonic Rage. In the battle, I kind of wish I had Shattered Psyche, but whatever. It's fine. And then last one here, we have Chestnut, Max Fizdef to handle Diggersby. Max Fizdef to handle something like Diggersby or his other physical threats. Max Fizdef to handle things like Diggersby, Donphan even, Barbancle, and Mandibuzz. I have an AV set. AV for this Heliolisk, because my Heliolisk switch-in is also the X button. So yeah, he has 2 mons on my switching his DX button for. So that's kind of a threat. Even though he's winless, he still has a threatening team. Magirna is always a scary mon. Heliolisk is very scary for my team. I had to slap an EV on Chestnut so I have something for this Heliolisk. I kind of figured it was going to come. And I have Earthquake rather, Drain Punch, Stone Edge, and I think Seed Bomb. Seed Bomb for Jellicent, Earth Power for Earthquake. Why do I keep saying Earth Power? It's a Chestnut. Earthquake for Magirna and Heliolisk. And AV to take special hits from Heliolisk. Stone Edge for the Mandibuzz. I don't know if Chestnut got that hit, but I think it did. I wish I had it for the Venusaur. I needed something to hit that Venusaur this game. You're gonna see in a second. So in choosing a lead, I believe I don't remember if I led Victini or Rotom. This game happened last night. Kind of late for me. Well, not really late for me last night. Happened about 10 my time. Like 10 at night my time. So that's not really late for me, but yeah, whatever. It's whatever. That's about normally the time I have these battles. I mean, he's Pacific time zone, I'm Eastern. So like at 10 at night, that's about the normal time I have battles with people from Pacific time zones. So let's get right into it. I think I lead Rotom. I know I lead Victini as he leads with the Diggersby, predicting my Victini lead. That Diggersby was a massive threat the whole game. So he makes the obvious switch into Jellicent. I just go hard into Rotom. I go hard on the Rotom here, like just in case he was scarfed and stayed in and earthquaked, which he may have done, expecting me to be like banded or something. Because like I said, I brought banded Victini so many times in this league. He had to have expected like a banded Victini. So that's why I figured he'd probably just earthquake, maybe kill the Victini off right away. And if he kills Victini off right away, I just lose the game. So I didn't want to risk that, so I just went hard on the Rotom, and he goes hard on the Jellicent. This is fine by me. He just pulls a switch into Venusaur. I volt switch into I think Victini here. Yeah, I volt switch into Victini. He megas. I U-turn. I U-turn. I then go into Chestnut because I go into Chestnut here because I'm bulletproof. So Sludge Bomb will not hit me. So essentially, this Venusaur cannot hit my Chestnut at all. Unless he has like HP Fire, but I'm AV and HP Fire from like a max defensive Mega Venusaur does like 30, not even 30, like 37 max. I don't have the calcs. I ran the calcs during the game, but I don't have him in my head right now. So I had no reason to not go with the Chestnut because he can't hit me with Sludge Bomb, and he can't leech seed me either because I'm also a Grass type. The only move he can hit me with is the HP Fire. So I kind of could scout for that, even though I'm pretty sure he has it because I have a Mega Scizor in the back. So I double into Diancie, maybe expecting the HP Fire as he does reveal it there. Now he Gigas and gets a crit on my Diancie, which kind of sucks because I think if he was max Fizz Def, it was a 3-hit KO with my spread. Because Diancie's quite bulky. I think it was a 3-hit KO on my spread, meaning I could have gotten rocks up the next turn before my Diancie died. Or maybe in a roll of 2-hit KO. I'm not exactly sure of my spread. But it may have been a roll to 2-hit KO. So the crit may have mattered depending on the rolls. As he goes to the Giga, he went for the Giga there. I clicked Z. I actually clicked Z Tectonic Rage here, expecting to switch into something like expecting to switch into Magirna. This is the moment where I wish I had Shattered Psyche, because if I had Shattered Psyche, I would do so much damage to this Venusaur. But now because my Diancie's low, I can't get rocks up at all. Which kind of sucks, because it really does suck. Because rocks are guaranteed that I kill the Mandibuzz with V-Create. It prevents him from really switching out as much as he would like to around Victini. So he's just going to Giga here and kill my Diancie. That's fine. It really does nothing after that crit. So the crit, I don't want to say it mattered because I do get revenge. I do get big revenge hacks later on in the battle. But it may have. I think it was a roll to a KO at my spread. So it really was depending on the roll, and I would have went for rocks on the turn. If I lived at the second Giga Drain, I would have went for rocks. So I just sack off the Diancie and go into Victini here. As the obvious switch was the Jellicent, so I go for the Volt Strike, predicting that as he reveals with Con, and that still does a ton. I get the para, but that doesn't matter at all because Jellicent's slow anyway. I go into Rotom. He switches into Diggersby. Diggersby looks like his dedicated Victini switch. So now he has to know I'm choiced. As I missed a Will-O-Wisp on the Venusaur, and that's gonna play into my revenge hacks later in the battle. Pretty sure it's gonna play into my revenge hacks later in the battle as well. We'll get to the revenge hacks when I get it. I missed that Will-O-Wisp and he crits my Diancie, so hacks gods kind of favoring him, but that I do get. They do show me some mercy later on though. So I switch into Victini. I make an aggressive play as he goes for the synthesis. Because I ran calcs. If he actually was max Fizz Def on that Venusaur, Sludge Bomb was doing like 33 max to me. So I really had no reason to not go into Victini. I essentially was thinking in my head his moveset was like Synthesis, HP Fire, Sludge Bomb, and Giga Drain. Like he didn't reveal his fourth move yet, but I was 99% certain it was Sludge Bomb. He goes into Jellicent. I just go for V-Create because it would definitely do a KO a Jellicent from that range. And I'm Jolly, so I would be able to outspeed that Jellicent. Probably would anyway because he was powered. But the power doesn't matter unless he was running enough speed to outspeed a Jolly Victini at -1, which is 212 speed. Meaning, I think he can hit that if he runs a ton of speed at a boosting nature. So now Diggersby comes in. I switch into Scizor here because I could take any hit. He goes to the return, possibly predicting my Rotom there. So now he just goes into Venusaur as I double into Rotom. I doubled into Rotom there. I don't know what I was thinking doing that. I think I doubled into Rotom predicting his Diggersby. Like I thought he was gonna double into like I had Scizor in there. I was scouting for his set. I doubled into Rotom scouting for the Fire Punch. I was scouting for his set, thinking maybe he's not Scarf, maybe he's like Expert Belt or something to bluff Scarf. But that switch into Venusaur pretty much confirms he's Scarfed. So I switch into Rotom, predicting him to predicting the Fire Punch, maybe thinking he thought that I thought he was Scarfed and he could have gone for a Fire Punch there. But I'm pretty certain now he's Scarfed. So that's definitely Scarf Diggersby. He goes to a Sludge Bomb. That does a ton. I Volt Switch, believe into Victini here. Yeah, I do. And now he plays Pick Your Sack again. He picks the Mana Buzz, and that does a shit ton of damage. So now I actually ran the calcs again, and judging by that damage, he's not fully Fizz Def. Because max roll on a Choice Banded Jolly V-Create is like 77%. And that did 93%. So I was thinking, oh god, he has speed on this Mana Buzz. So I pull a switch into Weavile. Maybe expecting the Roost or something. Yeah, he just Roosts. And here I just go for the Icicle Crack. No, I go for the knockoff, predicting the Magearna. I got a crit, but that really does not matter at all, as this thing could just die to a Victini V-Create anyway. Go into Victini, he reveals the Shift Gear. I'm not really too terrified of a fast Magearna when I have a Victini on the field that just completely walls it. Well, not really walls. If he has the Shadow Ball, there's 66 max, but he just dies to a V-Create because I knocked off his item, and it was leftovers anyway. So here I think he just sacks the Mana Buzz. Yeah, he does. As he creates once again the obvious play, Victini just demolishing everything right now, forcing him to choose sacks. I'm also having to choose sacks here because of this Diggersby. This battle is just us essentially trading sacks. I missed on that Will-O-Wisp again, but that really doesn't matter on the Heliolisk because you'll see later in the battle this thing gets annihilated. So he just goes for the T-Bolt, killing my Rotom. I did that to scout for the set. I really didn't need Rotom anymore to wall the Diggers because I still had Chestnut in the back that could handle it. I could wall the Diggers, but even if he has Fire Punch, I could take a hit and go for Drain Punch or something. So I still had Chestnut in the back that could handle it. I really wasn't concerned about the Rotom because I'd rather have the information about the Heliolisk than the Rotom right now. And that 58 confirms he specs. I believe the roll was like 60. That 58. No, the fact that it killed me confirmed he was specs. Because max roll on a non-specs on like a Life Orb variant. Actually, no, I shouldn't say that. It made me think he was either specs or Life Orb, but he didn't take Life Orb recoil, and without the Life Orb, max roll was like 56. So therefore, he had to have been specs. So because he specs, I go right into Scizor here, get the Mega Evolve. He goes to the Bolt. Yeah, that does a ton. That damage pretty much confirms he's definitely specs. Now he pulls a switch into the Venusaur. I just go for Brutal Swing, because Brutal Swing because Bullet Punch would have killed the Heliolisk. He goes for Sludge Bomb, predicting my Victini there. He's in the middle of Roost Up. Now I think he's going to go for the HP Fire, so now I pull a switch into Victini as he synthesizes. And now he plays Pick Your Sack again. He chooses to sack the Heliolisk. I U-turn there. I U-turn there to scout what he was going to do. Maybe he was going to go hard, and maybe he was going to go... Why did I click U-turn there, actually? I should have clicked V-Create there, but I didn't want him going into Diggersby for free. That's why I clicked U-turn. I didn't want him to sack the Heliolisk and then go into Diggersby for free. And that Heliolisk gets annihilated by the U-turn. He just now pulls a switch into the Venusaur. I go for Earthquake, and that does nothing. That confirms he's probably Fizz Def. This HE Fire, Chestnut's just going to eat it up. I go for the Stone Edge, try to get damage. I'm just trying to get damage on this Venusaur. Try to maybe put it in V-Create range. Range of V-Create is like... He's in range about now. Now he sacks the Heliolisk. And he goes into the Diggersby again. So now I pick my sack. Well, not really pick my sack, just pick my thing to take a hit. And it's that Chestnut, and it just takes a ton. This Diggersby is hitting everything like a tractor trailer. I go for the Drain Punch. Try to get to health back. Magearna was the I just wanted health back. Honestly, if he stayed, I really didn't care. If he stayed in and Fire Punched again, I could have gone to Weavile and picked it off. And he knew that. That's why he switched to Magearna. I do have Pursuit on the Weavile, and he doesn't know that at this point. So I could have maybe clicked Pursuit if I was bold enough. But you'll see later on in the battle a time where I should have clicked Pursuit. You'll see later on. I should have clicked Pursuit one turn, and I didn't because I was too much of a pussy. But it almost cost me the game. You'll see later on. So I just sacked Chestnut to the Magearna. He goes for Flare Cannon. Before the battle, I actually thought that Bulletproof blocked Flare Cannon. I ended up testing out in Showdown, and it doesn't. I stayed in there because I really had no... Because, once again, my switch into Magearna is the X button. So, yeah. I thought Bulletproof would block Flare Cannon, because Bulletproof blocks moves like Shadow Ball, Sludge Bomb, things like that. So, like, hey, Cannon's like a Bulletproof... Cannon's like a bullet-type move. Maybe Bulletproof blocks Flare Cannon. It doesn't. If Bulletproof blocked Flare Cannon, then Chestnut is the Magearna counter. So now I go into Victini, and he just sacks the Magearna with VK. Victini now has 4 kills this game. That is freaking crazy. Now he goes into Diggersby. Now my sack is Scizor. I just go for Bullet Punch because I want damage. He goes into Venusaur. Bullet Punch is going to do 0 to this thing. Now he doubles into Diggersby, predicting my switch into Victini here. Good play on his end. Now I'm forced to sack the Scizor. He goes for EQ again. I almost stayed in there predicting Fire Punch, but he knows that Bullet Punch definitely kills from that. He knows that Earthquake probably would damage my Scizor bed. Now this is the turn where I should have clicked Pursuit. If I clicked Pursuit, it clinched my win. It definitely clinched my win because it would kill the Diggersby from this range. I don't think that crit mattered at all. The crit would have... I think without the crit, it would be like 30 max. Meaning, if I click Pursuit this... I think that crit mattered because... Yeah, like I said, this is now where the revenge hack is going to come. Because I get the crit on the Diggersby with Bullet Punch that probably would have not... But probably could have lived the Pursuit if it switched. But now he definitely can't live a Pursuit if he switches. This is a turn where I should have clicked Pursuit, but I was too much of a pussy. So now he gets a... So now he switches into Venusaur as I Ice Shard. I actually thought Ice Shard plus Icicle Crash would kill from this range. But you're going to see this Icicle Crash. I'm not sure if that was a roll or not. But if I did land that Will-O-Wisp on the Venusaur beforehand, it would have taken burn... I think it would have taken burn damage. On the turn it's... Yeah. It would have taken burn damage after this turn, and... It would have taken burn damage after the Ice Shard, and it would have died to the Icicle Crash here. So the Will-O-Wisp missed from before actually... So the Will-O-Wisp missed from before now is coming up big because this Venusaur lived. And he's able to synthesis on my Ice Shard. He's able to synthesis. But I do get the crit here and the flinch. So I know that hacks kind of sucked before, but not... I really don't want to say that's justice. I don't want to say that's justice, but it is kind of justice for the Will-O-Miss. Because, yeah, after he switched out with Diggersby, he brings a Venusaur Ice Shard. Then after the burn damage, he dies to Icicle Crash. So, yeah, I really think that crit was justice for the Will-O-Miss. As I just go for Ice Shard, and I kill the Diggersby here. So, GG. So, GG Honolulu Huntails. I don't know how to pronounce your name, and I really don't want to mispronounce it here. So yeah, GG. Sorry about the hacks from before, but you gotta admit it was justice for from the Willomus. The crit on Diggersby sucked, but if I did hit that Willow, then the crit on Diggersby doesn't matter at all as it dies Ice Shard anyway. So anyway, GG. We're now 4-2 plus 6, and we have leapfrogged into second place in our division, which is really, really nice. With the rematch of divisional games coming up, and my divisional opponents really barely changed up their teams. I'm the only one that really changed up my team a lot. Actually, using transactions, transaction in a nutshell, traded Greninja for Umbreon, and then dropped Scolipede and Kamala for Weavile and Archeops. Wanting to get faster, wanting to get more offensive. Because the speed pass strategy I had during the draft wasn't working, so I decided, I'm going a different route. And I dropped Scolipede for Weavile, because Weavile is one of my favorite monsters to use. Weavile plus Victini, hard hitting core to break. It's very hard hitting core, very fast core as well, both over 100 speed. Next week, we actually take on the defending champs, Azar and the Dakan Wild Chargers. So that's going to be a fun one. So GG once again, and I'll see you guys next week. Hispanic out.